If you knew that heaven was watching, would you still stay silent? If two radiant beings were standing before you, tears in their eyes, wings trembling, whispering, there are only 21 minutes left, would your heart finally awaken? The clock is ticking, not metaphorically, not as a poetic idea, but literally. Every soul has a moment of decision, a final crossroad when eternity leans in and listens. This moment is yours. And there are only 21 minutes left. Two angels have been sent, not for judgment, but for mercy. Not to accuse, but to plead. Their voices echo in the chambers of your soul. Not with thunder, but with gentle urgency. They call you by name. Not the name the world gave you, but the one God whispered when he formed you from dust and fire. You were not born for routine. You were not created to fade into the background of history. You are chosen. You always have been. Even when you were lost, broken, angry, and numb. Even when you cursed heaven and questioned your worth. Still, the scroll of heaven bore your name. Still, the angels were watching. One angel stands at your right hand. His robe shines with the memory of prayers you thought were forgotten. He carries the fragments of every moment you almost believed. The other angel stands at your left, holding the weight of all the times you almost surrendered, almost repented, almost turned back to God, but didn't. They are not here to count your failures. They are here to rescue what still burns deep in you. The flickering ember of purpose, of divine calling, of love. They whisper, there's still time, but only 21 minutes. That number isn't random. It's not dramatic flair. It's heaven's countdown. You don't need to understand every prophecy or decode every sign. What matters is your yes. Not a loud, impressive yes, but a small, trembling yes whispered through tears. That's all God has ever wanted. A heart that returns. Think about it. The world is loud. The news is full of shadows. False gods rise on every screen. Fear sells. Pleasure distracts. But in the silence of your soul, you know, this isn't all there is. You've always known. Somewhere between childhood innocence and adult exhaustion, you began to forget. But tonight, that memory returns. It returns in the form of a warning. A loving, urgent warning. The time is short, and the battle is invisible but real. You felt it, the strange pressure in your spirit. The sense that something big is about to break, that the veil between the seen and unseen is thinner than ever. You're not crazy. You're waking up. Heaven is not far. Angels are not fairy tales. And your life is not meaningless. Right now, all of eternity bends toward this very second. God has not abandoned the world. He's preparing his chosen ones. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to fix your whole life in an instant. You just have to respond. The angels are pleading because your yes opens a floodgate. Your surrender shifts something eternal. There are tears in their eyes because they know what's coming. And they know what's at stake. Not just for you, but for those tied to your obedience. There are people whose freedom depends on your yes. People you haven't even met. Generations waiting for your breakthrough. Your yes doesn't just change you. It ripples into eternity. Can you feel it now? That stirring in your chest? That burning behind your eyes? That's not emotion. That's encounter. The Spirit of God is near. Not with condemnation, but with invitation. Not to a religion, but to a relationship. You were born for intimacy with the Almighty. You were fashioned for his presence. You've run in circles long enough. You've tried to fill the void with everything except him. But nothing fits. Nothing satisfies, because only he can. He who knows your name. He who numbered your days. He who saw every sin and still chose the cross. This is not just a moment. This is your moment. Don't harden your heart. Don't wait for a better time. This is the better time. The angels aren't promising comfort. They're offering truth. They're reminding you of what you've always felt. This world is temporary, but the soul is eternal. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are chosen. And chosen ones don't wait for the perfect conditions. They respond when heaven calls, even if they're trembling, even if they're afraid, because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's obedience in the midst of it. The clock still ticks. 14 minutes remain. The angels have not moved. They stand, not as judges, but as intercessors. They do not force your decision. They invite it. They weep, not because they are weak, but because they know how much God loves you. They have seen his face. They have heard his voice tremble when he speaks your name. The God of the universe desires you, not your image, not your performance. You, the messy, wondering, complicated you. And he doesn't need you to climb your way back. He just needs you to turn, to whisper a yes, even a broken one, even a small one. That's all. That's enough. The angels lean in closer. The air feels different now. Heaven is listening. The battle is not over your behavior. It's over your belief. Will you believe that you're still wanted? That you're still called? That you're still his? 9 minutes left. But in heaven's time, that's more than enough. God made the world in 6 days. He can rewrite your story in 6 seconds. The question is never his power. It's your posture. Will you kneel? Not just with your body, but with your heart. Will you let go of the lies, the shame, the excuses? 5 minutes. The veil between seen and unseen is nearly gone. Your heart is pounding, not because you're nervous, but because your spirit recognizes home. This is why you've always felt out of place. You weren't made for this world. You were made for the kingdom. 2 angels, 1 decision. No more hiding, no more delays. You are 1 whisper away from stepping into the purpose you've always longed for. Heaven is not far. It's right here. And they're pleading because love never forces, it invites. 1 minute left. The tears in their eyes are not fear. They are hope. Hope that you will say yes, that you will come home, that you will rise as the chosen one you were always meant to be. They are still here, watching, waiting, pleading, and God is listening. Now, it's your turn. But even now, in the final seconds of this sacred countdown, something shifts. Not in the sky, not in the news, but deep within you. A moment so subtle the world may not notice, but all of heaven rejoices. It's the moment your heart turns. It's the moment your soul whispers what your lips may not even have the courage to say out loud. I'm ready. The angels hear it. They don't need sound. They hear soul. They hear longing. And when longing meets surrender, eternity explodes with light. This isn't poetic exaggeration. It's spiritual reality. Every single time a heart turns toward God, the angels rejoice. The atmosphere in heaven actually changes. The stars lean in. The Father stands. And all of creation holds its breath. This is what you were born for. Not to survive. Not to achieve. Not to prove your worth. But to be loved and to love him back. Every other mission pales beside this one. And once this truth roots itself in you, everything else aligns. Fear loses its grip. Shame loses its voice. Lies begin to melt. Because once you encounter the love of God, not even hell itself can stop you. But know this. With calling comes resistance. The moment you rise as God's chosen, the darkness will take notice. You will not walk an easy path, but you will never walk it alone. The same angels who pleaded with you tonight will fight beside you. The same spirit who stirred your heart will empower your steps. You will not be abandoned. You will be armed. Your story is shifting. The script written by regret and rejection is being overwritten by the ink of grace. You don't have to understand the whole journey. Just take the first step. God is not asking you to become perfect overnight. He's asking you to be honest, to open the door, to let him in. And when you do, he will not enter like a guest. He will enter like a father returning to his child. That's the difference. Religion knocks, but love walks in. Love restores. Love heals. Love stays. And the love of God, pure, burning, unstoppable, is chasing you even now. You've run long enough. You've searched long enough. And finally, here, with the clock silent and the angels smiling, you're home. Heaven is not a faraway place. It begins the moment God makes his home in you. And tonight, he has. Not because you proved yourself, but because you responded. You said yes when it mattered most. And now, everything changes. Not instantly, but inevitably. Don't expect applause from the world. Don't wait for everyone to understand. This moment wasn't for them. It was for you. And for heaven. What's been sealed in the spirit will manifest in time. The chains that once felt eternal will begin to fall. The wounds that once defined you will begin to heal. And the lies that once ruled you will lose their power. You are not just forgiven. You are commissioned. You are not just saved. You are sent. Chosen ones don't sit on the sidelines. They rise. Even when they don't feel ready. Even when their past still echoes. Even when they're afraid. Because chosen ones walk by faith, not by sight. And your faith, small as it may seem, is enough to move mountains. There will be days when doubt knocks, when memories haunt, when the enemy whispers, you're not really changed. In those moments, remember tonight. Remember the angels. Remember the countdown. Remember the tears. The invitation. The silence that spoke louder than thunder. That was real. This is real. And when you forget, because you will, return. Don't run away, run home. The same God who met you tonight will meet you again and again. His love is not a one-time offer. It's a never-ending well. Drink deep, often, especially when you're tired, especially when you're tempted, especially when you feel unworthy. Because here's the truth. The world doesn't tell you you were never meant to do this alone. You were never meant to carry the weight of your soul without help. That's why Jesus came. That's why he died. That's why he rose. Not just to forgive you, but to live inside you, to walk with you, to breathe hope into every corner of your life. The angels knew this. That's why they pleaded. Because your yes was the key to unlocking something cosmic, something eternal, something that echoes into the future in ways you may never fully see. You were never just a number. You were always part of a divine plan. And now that plan is in motion. There will be battles ahead. But take heart. The God who called you is the God who will carry you. He doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And now you're among them. A chosen one, marked not by religion but by relationship, not by rules but by love. You may still feel weak. That's okay. God does his best work through weakness. Your scars do not disqualify you. They prove that you survived. They prove that grace is stronger than pain. And now, your story becomes a weapon. Your past becomes a testimony. Your wounds become windows for others to see his light. The angels are no longer pleading. They are rejoicing. Because you have crossed the line. You've stepped out of darkness into light. You've been transferred from wandering to purpose. The heavens have recorded this moment. And your name, your real name, is shining brighter than ever. So now, walk forward, not in fear, but in faith. Not in shame, but in freedom. Let the fire that woke in you tonight become the fire that lights others. Let your story become a spark. Because there are others, so many others, who are still where you were. Lost, numb, waiting, and your obedience might be the voice they finally hear. You are not alone. You never were. And now, you never will be again. The countdown is over. The decision has been made. You are his. And nothing in hell or on earth can undo what heaven has sealed. And now, silence. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of presence. A holy stillness settles, like the hush before sunrise, when the world holds its breath and heaven listens. This is the silence that follows surrender. The silence where angels lower their wings in reverence. The silence where God himself draws near, not with fire and thunder, but with the whisper of a father holding his child. In this silence, Something eternal is spoken, though no words are heard. It's the language of spirit to spirit, the kind that bypasses logic, expectation, even time. You don't need to speak now. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to rest. You've come home. What began as a countdown has become a commission. What sounded like an ending was always meant to be a beginning. The two angels who once pleaded now stand as guardians. And the one who sent them, the King of Glory, smiles, not from afar, but from within you. His presence is no longer knocking at the door. He is inside, seated and staying. And when you wake tomorrow, yes, the world will still be chaotic. The noise will return. The temptations will whisper. But something will have changed forever. You. Your foundation is no longer the shifting sand of performance, but the solid rock of grace. You will walk, not perfectly, but with purpose. You will fall, but never be forsaken, because the one who called you is faithful. He finishes what he starts. So remember this night. Remember the angels. Remember the urgency, the trembling, the love. Not to carry guilt, but to fuel gratitude. Remember what it felt like to be chosen, because you still are, and always will be. Your name is written, your soul is sealed, your story is alive. Welcome, chosen one. The time is no longer running out. The time has finally begun.